This is my Fuji xpro 2. Here's an update. Still using the, let's see what it's called, the TT Artisan 25mm manual lens. I have sold every Fuji lens I own. All of them. All the autofocus lenses. I don't want anything to do with them. As far as street photography goes, this is all I need. One lens, one camera, the perfect focal length, honestly. It's in between a 35 and a 50. It's 40. Best of both worlds, as far as I'm concerned. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I took my sons out. I met my sons downtown Columbus, which is the first time I've been downtown Columbus since I tested this lens out. Reason for this video is I have a Sony a7iv IV that I use for landscape, portraiture, stuff like that. And I met with my sons, and I grabbed the Sony because I was going to do portraits and maybe some landscapes. And that it's just a better camera for that. It's a better camera for portraiture. I have a zoom lens. It's a 24mm to 105. So I just use one lens and I just get a whole range of stuff. And it's just really good for that. It's full frame. I love the Sony colors. Personally, I like it better than Fuji. It's just my opinion. You know, you may not agree. I don't really care. And so I took the Sony downtown and took a few shots of my sons. There's that one, which is cool. Another shot. Got some of these. It kind of being silly there. These tracks are inoperable. So there's no trains coming. I really like this one a lot. It's a good shot. Anyway, so while we were down there, when the opportunity arose, I took a couple street shots. And which brings me to my point of the video. Why the Fuji is better than a Sony for street photography. Yes, there are street photographers that use Sony and Sony like Nikon, Canon, big cameras with big lenses. There's people that do that, and they do that very well. And yes, I got some shots that are good. Like, here's one that I really liked a lot. Great shot, right? And let's see. Another one. Here's one. I mean, it's not a great shot, but it's a shot. And so there's that. There's this one. She was not impressed with me, but that's fine. And then here's one, you know. And these are fine, right? And I had here's another one. Oh, I didn't even outdoor. I wish it said back door. Anyway, there's a couple guys vandalizing street signs and their skateboard on them. So yeah, there's some good shots. But then we got this one. Out of focus. You know why? Because as I was walking by, I shot from the hip. I couldn't really look. I don't want to look at the camera and try to focus on his face and then recompose. I go down, shoot the hip. I get the composure I want. I get the composition that I want, and I take the shot, right? I love it, but it's out of focus. Even black and white doesn't save that one. There's another shot. The guy's pants down. Anyway, there's some good shots in there. And then there's another series of, I don't even know why it's not saved in there. There's a series of photos that I took. This girl was walking. I was like, ching, 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 you know, not super, not like lay down on the shutter and then have it, you know, nothing like that. Just shot after shot after shot as she's walking. And I was able to choose one, which some of you already know. That's been familiar with the channel. That's not how I roll. Basically, I'll take one picture. I see what I like. I may take 2 or 3. I like a pre-shot. I see the scene. I take a shot just in case it goes away, right? I just want to grab that, what I'm seeing, and then I'll take another one with a different composition, and then maybe I'll squeeze another one in, depending on how the composition changes as I walk through the scene and get in different angles and get closer, right? So I don't like the shoot off a bunch of shots and hope for the best. I don't like that. I like to think about it, compose it, take the shot. One shot. More or less. Okay. What I don't like about the Sony. Okay, well, what I don't like is it's a bigger camera. It's got a bigger lens. And everybody down there knew I had a camera and was taking pictures. I can walk around for hours with my Fuji and almost nobody notices. It's very inconspicuous. It's black, it's small, the lens is a teeny little, you can barely tell. You can barely tell. And I basically disappear into the world, right? And I'm able to get close, I'm able to get intimate, and they don't even know. That's what's so great about it. With the Sony, it's just a big freaking camera. And even if it is smaller than like your DSLR Canons, but it's still bigger than the Fuji. And especially the lens. That lens, which it's shooting me now, the lens is like about 15 of those lenses, and I stick out like a sore thumb, and it just ruins it. That's one thing I don't like. The other thing, other than it being heavier and more cumbersome to carry around, which I do have a capture, but still, I don't have my TT Artisan manual lens. I set this baby to f8. To infinity. I have a range that I work with, range focusing. Some call it zone focusing, but it's range focusing done with range finders, and it's in a range of measurement. I just point, I compose, and I shoot it, and it's going to be sharp. I did a video on that about the accuracy of this lens in particular. And it's an incredible lens. It's so good that, like I said, I sold all of my lenses, and so I can just use this one. And if you want to sell your lenses, and this video isn't sponsored, they don't know me, from Adam, MPB. And out of all the places I offered my lenses to, they offered me the most. I sold a 23 millimeter f2, a 35 millimeter f2, and a 16 millimeter 1.4 used. It was used when I bought it. They offered me $800 for it. All of them, all 3 of them. It's pretty good. Adorama was like 500. So, and I'm not gonna mix this video with the beef I have with Adorama, but I am not happy with their used department whatsoever, especially when you try to buy and sell things to them. Not happy. And if you want to know why, put it in the comments. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, long break. I want to know what Adorama did. Anyway, if you are shooting street photography with a Sony or a DSLR, more power to you. That's your thing. You're probably using a long lens. You probably are standing back. No one sees you because you're a football field away from you and you're zooming in. Great. Have fun. I don't think that's street photography. I think you have to be up close to people. I think you have to be in their face. I think you have to smell the art, right? You have to be there. And if you're not, you're a peeping Tom, voyeurist. So yeah, I'll never use my Sony for street photography. I bought that camera for landscape, wildlife, portraits. It has its purpose. I made a video when I bought the XT5, how the XT5 was more camera than I need. And so is the Sony. I'm using the Sony in a different way. I'm not using it for street photography. That video was just for street photography. It is more camera than I need for street photography. And so is the Sony. It's just, don't need it. Small, light, inconspicuous, manual lenses, go for it. That's it right there. And that's why the greats that's what they use. They use rangefinders. They use these smaller cameras and stuff. Old Nikon F2s and small cameras. So that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.